Hey, welcome to this Tuesday with Michelle. I am your girl, Michelle, bringing you the hottest content this Tuesday. Today's episode is going to be a Q&A session. It's been a minute since we've had one of those, so I have three questions that I will be going through today. But the first question is a three-part question, so here we go. The first question talks about organic love. So the question is, if we know exactly what we want and we have the means to get that from our fingertips, is that organic love? Part B of the question, is there a need for organic love? Part C of the question, or this is what organic love is in today's age. So I'm guessing that relates more to part A, which is having things at your fingertips. So taking a step back, when I think of organic love, I think of organic food, right? So you want something that's healthy and something that is natural. So organic love to me is a love that grows naturally between two people, and it's a healthy type of love. So having defined that, I would say that organic love is love that's not forced. So you don't have to force the connection with someone. It just happens and it just blossoms into this flower. Going to the part that talks about having things at your fingertips, I'm guessing you're talking more about online dating. So with online dating, you can use criteria to kind of filter out the people that you don't want, slash filter in the people that you do want to look at. I don't think that this eliminates organic love. I think online dating is just one way of meeting somebody. And essentially, after having conversation with them and say meeting them in person, you can then foster organic love. So as long as it doesn't matter how you meet someone, in my opinion, it could be online, it could be at church, it could be at a car wash, at the gym, grocery store. What makes it organic to me is the fact that you didn't have to force anything and it just naturally came to you. So, what happens if you have two people who they match on paper? So, I meet that person's criteria and that person meets my criteria. On paper, we look good together, but after we start talking, if I start talking to that person with the intention to force love to grow between us, then I don't think that that's organic love because again, there's no need to force anything if something is organic. So, to answer your question, in as much as we can have things at our fingertips like online dating, I do think that organic love is still there. I think that it is essential. It's essential to have healthy relationships. And that's what organic love is to me. So, moving on to the second question, this says, do you think that people can change when they love someone? And my answer is 100%. Yes, definitely. And how I'm thinking about it is, let's say you have two people who get into a relationship, and prior to these two people getting into a relationship, they had their own personal styles of dealing with conflicts. Okay, so we have person A who, when person A is mad, they don't want to talk to anyone about it until the next day, or they don't ever want to talk about it. And then you have person B, and whenever they're mad about something, they want to talk about it right away. So we have a case here where, someone has to give, right? Someone has to do something in order for this relationship to work. And so I think compromise is really one of those things that, you know, happens a lot in relationships. And if you love someone, so for example, if I'm the person in the relationship who is like, I cannot talk about things right away, I can only talk about them tomorrow, or I don't ever want to talk about them, then I could say, you know what, maybe instead of waiting until tomorrow to talk to someone about the issue that we have, I could say, okay, just give me like a couple of hours so I can cool down before I can address the issue that we have. So, yes, definitely, you can change because you love someone, because essentially when you love someone, you also want them to be happy, right? So, I do think that, yeah, people can change because of the fact that they love someone. I also think that it's important to look at it from the other side, which is, can people change when they feel loved? And the answer to that would be yes. If you didn't believe in yourself, for example, prior to you being in a relationship with someone, now you have a partner who believes in you and who encourages you in everything that you want to do, that can really change how you see yourself. And so I think when people feel safe and people feel loved, it can also even help them grow as an individual. So, being loved and loving can cause people to change. And the next question, which is our last question for today, Do I believe in love at first sight? Here's the thing, okay? I guess the long and the short of it is this. I personally don't think that love at first sight happens for people, right? And that sounds crazy because then it's like, oh, does it happen for monkeys? That's not what I meant. But what I'm saying is, I can see a dress, for example, and be like, oh my gosh, I want to buy that dress. That's love at first sight because I saw the dress and I'm like, I love this dress. I'm not leaving the store without the dress, right? But then when we talk about love between people, it's not something that, like, love is deep affection for someone, and I think you need to get to even talk to someone or get to know them over some time in order for you to start to love them in that kind of way. And so if someone just meets somebody today and they look at and literally they just look into each other's eyes and it's the first time that they're meeting, I would not say that was love at first sight. I mean, I personally think that lust at first sight is a thing. So lust at first sight and then infatuation at first sight. But love at first sight, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I believe that. I think you can really like the way someone looks on the outside, but love at first sight without talking to somebody, I don't think so. But anyway, I also do believe in meet cutes. And it's so funny because I'd heard the word and people would always say me cute, me cute. So here I was on Google, Googling me cute. And Google was like, I don't know what you're asking me about. It turns out it's meet cute. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about right now. So I do believe in meet cutes. And I'm actually going to share something very personal with you guys that happened. It was, okay, well, first of all, let me back up and explain to people what a meet cute is if you don't know what it is. So basically, you know how in movies or series, right, they paint this picture where like you have the girl and then you have the guy. Like I'm thinking of High School Musical, for example. And then, she's new to the school and she's like walking, walking, walking. And then she bumps into the guy or like the guy bumps into her and then her books drop. And then both of them in slow motion go down so that they can pick the book. Guys, I had a meet cute moment with somebody. Except, you know what? I should qualify it by saying that mine was not a full on meet cute because, according to the definition, there's supposed to be romantic love from that point on. This was a stranger. But I mean, what happened was, also it wasn't as cute as dropping books, to be honest. So I was at a train station. Oh, this doesn't even sound good. Anyway, I was at a train station and it was rush hour. And I had bought these like little mini donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. So I'm walking, and then this guy bumps into me. And then, guys, my donuts fell in their bag, and both of us went down to pick up the donuts. And then we had a moment where we looked at each other. And that moment where you look at somebody and then you feel like you just heard K-Ci and JoJo singing for you. All my life, I pray for someone like you. And I hope that you feel the same way too. Anyway, so that happened. And then we pretty much had to run to catch our own trains, didn't even say hi to each other like that. It was just a moment of looking into each other's eyes. And then, he went to his train and I went to my train. And that's just how the story ends, guys. So I have had a little bit of a me cute, not a full on one because it didn't lead to a relationship or anything like that. But listen, I do believe that that kind of love is also out there. So keep looking, okay? Anyway, look forward to this Friday's episode, guys. It is going to be fire. Okay, I'm not even gonna spoil. Tune in on Friday.